The most shocking revenge story ever. Wife destroys cheating husband in 30 seconds. Stop scrolling right now. What I'm about to tell you will make your jaw drop to the floor. A 51-year-old woman just destroyed her cheating husband's entire life with one single sentence. And guys, this happened in front of 200 people at their daughter's graduation. The revenge was so brutal, so perfectly planned, that this man went from successful businessman to unemployed and broken in under 30 seconds. If you love justice being served ice cold, you need to hear this story right now. Before we dive into the most insane revenge story you'll ever hear, smash that subscribe button like your life depends on it. Because if you're here for stories where karma hits hard and bullies get exactly what they deserve, you're in the perfect place. Hit that bell icon to trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next week. I've got a story about a woman who caught her husband cheating and got revenge using his own mother. That'll blow your mind. Now, are you ready for a story that'll restore your faith in justice? Let's go. Picture this: Denver, Colorado. Elegant hotel ballroom. Crystal chandeliers, fancy tablecloths, champagne glasses sparkling under the lights. It's a graduation reception. One of those nights that should be filled with pride, joy, and celebration. Parents are mingling, taking photos, congratulating each other. Everyone's dressed to the nines. The atmosphere is perfect. But in about 5 minutes, this peaceful, elegant evening is about to turn into the most brutal public destruction of a man's life that you've ever witnessed. And the woman who's about to serve this ice-cold revenge, she's been planning this moment for months. Let me introduce you to Cecilia Martinez. She's 51 years old, brilliant marketing director, absolutely stunning in her navy blue dress tonight. This woman has class, intelligence, and a strength that most people never get to see. For 26 years, she's been married to a man named Daniel. And guys, when I tell you about this Daniel character, you're going to want to reach through the screen and shake some sense into him. This man has spent years cheating on his wife openly, humiliating her in public, telling her she's worthless, making her believe no one could ever love her, and treating her like she's lucky to have him. But here's what Daniel doesn't know. Cecilia has been quietly, carefully, brilliantly planning his downfall. And tonight, at their daughter's graduation, she's about to execute the most perfect revenge in history. Now let me paint you a picture of Daniel. This is a man who thinks he's God's gift to the world. Middle management at a company called Velhern Global. But he acts like he's the CEO. Arrogant, cruel, and so blind to his own mediocrity that it's almost comedic. 6 months ago, this man did something so disgusting that it still makes my blood boil. Cecilia was giving a presentation at his company dinner about international marketing, and guys, she's brilliant at this stuff. Her strategies just landed her company a $15 million contract. But Daniel, this absolute monster, interrupts her in front of the entire room and says, "I'm sorry everyone. My wife sometimes forgets she's not actually qualified to talk about international business. She works for a small publishing house, not a real corporation." The humiliation this woman felt in that moment. Can you imagine? Your own husband destroying your credibility in front of professional peers? But that night changed everything. Because someone was watching from the head table, absolutely furious at Daniel's behavior. Someone who was about to change Cecilia's life forever. Mike Peterson. Remember this name because it's about to become Daniel's worst nightmare. Mike is 35 years old, tall, brilliant, and here's the kicker: he's Daniel's boss. Not just any boss, but the youngest VP in Velhern Global's history. While Daniel thinks he's important, Mike is actually running the entire division. After that humiliating dinner, Mike approaches Cecilia and says something she hasn't heard in years. "You're brilliant, and your husband was completely out of line." This wasn't just politeness, guys. Mike genuinely saw Cecilia's worth. They started meeting for coffee, taking walks, having real conversations. For the first time in decades, Cecilia remembered what it felt like to be valued. But here's where it gets really good. Mike offers her a position as European Director of Marketing with double her salary, and they'll be moving to Paris together. The woman who Daniel told was worthless, she's about to become more successful than he ever dreamed of being. Now, Cecilia could have just quietly left Daniel, started her new life, and been happy. But after years of abuse, years of humiliation, years of being told she's nothing, she decided Daniel needed to face consequences. And the plan they came up with, it was diabolical in its perfection. They would let Daniel destroy himself publicly, the same way he'd tried to destroy Cecilia. They would wait for him to make his move, then drop a bomb so devastating that his entire world would crumble in front of everyone he knew. Even Sophia, their 22-year-old daughter, the valedictorian we're celebrating tonight, wasn't on the plan. This brilliant young woman had watched her father abuse her mother for years and was ready to see justice served. The stage was set. The players were in position. All they had to do was wait for Daniel to dig his own grave. Back to the reception. Daniel has been working the room all night, playing the proud father and successful businessman. He's introduced himself to other parents with pompous confidence, bragging about his important position at Velhern Global. He has no idea that his boss is sitting 3 tables away, watching every move. Daniel chooses his moment carefully. Most families have finished dinner and are mingling. He stands up with theatrical flair, tapping his wine glass to get everyone's attention. The room goes quiet. Sophia shoots her mother a worried look, but Cecilia squeezes her hand reassuringly. This is it. The moment they've been waiting for. Daniel's wearing that smug smile that Cecilia knows so well, the look of a man who thinks he's about to deliver a devastating blow. Ladies and gentlemen, he begins, his voice carrying across the room with practice confidence. I have an announcement to make on this special day. The room is completely silent now. People can sense something big is coming. 26 years ago, I married my college sweetheart. We've had a good run, raised a wonderful daughter, but sometimes in life, you have to make difficult choices. You can feel the discomfort in the room. Parents are shifting in their seats, unsure if they should be witnessing this moment. And then, Daniel drops his bomb. I've found someone who makes me feel young again. Someone who appreciates me for who I am. So tonight, I'm announcing that I'm leaving my wife for someone younger, someone who understands what a successful man needs in a partner. The gasp that goes through the room is audible. People are staring at Cecilia, expecting to see a broken woman, humiliated in front of her peers. Instead, they see her stand up slowly, smoothing her dress, with the most serene smile playing at her lips. How interesting, she says, her voice carrying clearly through the silent room. I have an announcement of my own. Daniel's confident expression flickers. This isn't how this was supposed to go. He expected tears, begging, maybe her running from the room in shame. You're absolutely right, Daniel. 26 years is a long time to spend with someone who doesn't appreciate you. Someone who treats you with contempt, who belittles your accomplishments, who flaunts his affairs without even trying to hide them. A murmur goes through the crowd. The tables are starting to turn, so I'm also leaving for someone younger, much younger actually. Someone who values intelligence over arrogance, kindness over cruelty. Someone who sees me as an equal partner rather than a convenient accessory. Daniel's face is changing color now, the confident smirk fading into something closer to panic. Don't be ridiculous, Cecilia. You're 51 years old. What man would want? And then Cecilia drops the nuclear bomb. Mike Peterson, she says clearly, cutting him off. Perhaps you know him. Tall, brilliant, charming. He's your boss, Daniel. You're a direct supervisor at Velhern Global. Guys, the silence that followed was deafening. Daniel's mouth falls open. The color drains from his face so fast I thought he might faint. His confident demeanor evaporates completely as the implications hit him like a physical blow. That's impossible, he whispers, but his voice lacks any conviction. He knows Mike Peterson. He knows exactly how powerful Mike is. And more importantly, he knows what this means for his career. But Cecilia isn't done. Oh no, she's just getting started. Not impossible, Daniel, just surprising to you. Then, from across the room, comes a calm, authoritative voice. Actually, Cecilia works for one of our most valued partner companies. Every head in the room turns toward Mike Peterson as he stands up from his table. This man commands attention. Just by existing tall, confident, in a perfectly tailored suit that probably costs more than Daniel makes in a month, he moves through the crowd with easy grace, and you can feel the power radiating from him. This isn't some middle manager trying to seem important. This is a man who actually is important. Lumarin Publishing, Mike continues as he reaches their table, just secured a major international contract that will bring $15 million in new business to our European operations. Cecilia developed the entire marketing strategy that made that deal possible. He stops beside Cecilia, not touching her, but close enough that his support is unmistakable. She's also accepted my offer to head our new Paris office as European director of marketing, will be relocating there next month. The room erupts in whispers and murmurs. This isn't just a family drama anymore, this is a professional power play of epic proportions. Daniel looks like he's about to have a stroke. His face is purple, veins standing out on his forehead. The arrogant man from minutes before has been replaced by someone who looks desperate and panicked. This is insane. You can't do this to me. I work for you. Mike's response is delivered with ice-cold professionalism. You work for Velhern Global, and your performance reviews have been concerning for quite some time. I've documented numerous instances of unprofessional behavior, declining work quality, and inappropriate conduct with subordinate employees. He glances meaningfully at Jennifer, the 25-year-old secretary who's been standing beside Daniel like a trophy, suddenly looking very uncomfortable. In fact, I was planning to discuss your future with the company after the graduation festivities. But since you've chosen to make this a public matter, perhaps we should address it now. You can't fire me. Daniel sputters. I've been with the company for 12 years. I have seniority. Seniority doesn't protect employees who violate company policies, particularly when those violations create liability issues for the corporation. Just when you think this can't get any more brutal, Sophia stands up and moves to her mother's side. Dad, she says, her voice carrying clearly through the room. Everyone knows about your affairs. Everyone knows how you've treated Mom. Did you really think you could humiliate her like this and face no consequences? The support from her own daughter is the final nail in Daniel's coffin. This man who thought he was so clever, so powerful, is now facing the united front of his wife, his boss, and his own child. Cecilia looks around the room at all the faces watching this drama unfold and feels a surge of confidence she hasn't experienced in years. Daniel, you've spent years making me feel small and worthless. You've told me I'm too old, too boring, too ordinary to deserve better treatment. But you were wrong. She pauses, looking directly into his shocked eyes. Mike sees me as I really am: intelligent, capable, and worthy of love and respect. Tomorrow morning, Mike and I will begin planning our move to Paris. You, on the other hand, will be cleaning out your office and looking for a new job. I hope Jennifer is prepared to support you because your days of riding on your wife's patience and your boss's tolerance are officially over. Then, in the most elegant power move I've ever witnessed, Cecilia turns to Mike and says, "Would you like to dance? I think we have something to celebrate." As Mike leads Cecilia onto the dance floor, every eye in the room follows them. Behind them, Daniel stands alone, his world completely shattered, watching his wife dance with his boss while his 25-year-old girlfriend starts texting furiously, probably looking for an exit strategy. The woman who was supposed to be humiliated is now clearly the victor, dancing with a man who values and respects her. While the man who tried to destroy her stands broken and alone, the aftermath was swift and brutal. Daniel was escorted from his office by security within a week. Jennifer disappeared the moment she realized he was unemployed. His reputation was destroyed. The divorce left him financially ruined, and he went from successful businessman to living in a tiny apartment. Meanwhile, Cecilia thrives in Paris with Mike, discovering that love at 51 can be even better than young romance because it's built on genuine respect. This story teaches us the most important lesson of all: never underestimate someone you've been treating badly. Daniel thought Cecilia was worthless, that she'd just take his abuse forever. But sometimes the best revenge isn't getting mad, it's getting everything. What do you think? Was this the most perfect revenge ever, or what? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story gave you chills like it gave me, smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Next week, I've got another revenge story that'll make this one look tame. Until then, remember, treat people with respect, because you never know when karma might come knocking.